talking.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. What episode is this now, Rob?
That's a great question, Marisol. I'm sorry that you put me on the spot and I don't have that number in front of me.
All right, moving right along then. On that note, thank you for listening anyway, guys. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Marissa said that the other day she walked into the house and I guess she must listen to the podcast in front of her son, and that her son said, hey, Mom. Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. And she started cracking up. And I was like, oh my God, Marissa, seriously. I was like, this is awful. I don't even know what to say.
That's a shirt right there.
Right? Welcome back to HERR Lounge podcast.
Oh, that's funny.
But before I make any announcements, I do want to start off with the positive quote, guys. And it's just a lot has been happening in life, and we'll talk about it as we go along. And so I thought this was perfect. And it says, life is not being rich, being popular, being highly educated, or being perfect. It's about being real, being humble, and being kind. And
I like it. Kind
is what we need in this world lately.
Do we ever? We should also say this podcast is brought to you by a podcast fan who fueled it with coffee.
Woo! Thank you, because we're having it on here.
Yes, and they shouted out specifically. I feel like they called you the Green Queen because you always use that phrase. Yeah. Like, this is for you, Chingo, and the Green Queen. So I'm going to mention you as soon as I find who it was. Don't you worry. But right. I thought that was super nice. I don't know
is very nice. So thank you very much.
From you or what, but it's super nice when somebody gifts you a coffee card.
I actually love doing that. Okay, low key, whenever I post the code for people to get their free coffee, when I put it on my social media, you know, it alerts me on my phone. Like, it gives you the receipt, like whatever, like it tells you. And when I see just go ding, 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 I love it. I'm just like, yay, I just made someone stay happy.
Oh, you get a notification when it gets used?
Yes.
Oh.
So, and it's because I have to, because that's when I know if the card is out of funds.
Oh, okay.
So then I can post on there like, hey guys, the funds are done. So, you know, like, stop going.
See you next time.
Yo, I put I'm not going to lie to you. This last time I put $250 on there, right?
Yeah.
And while it may not sound a lot, it is.
No, it's a ton. But coffees are like $10 each, so.
It was gone in like 10 minutes, Rob.
Damn.
I was like, how'd y'all get to the Starbucks that fast? You know what I'm saying?
It's a
were
testament.
You already at Starbucks? Like, how did you get there that fast to where $250 was gone? And I was like, how many did one person get? Because I say on there, like, please get one per person.
Right.
Like, just don't go and, you know what I'm saying, be greedy and get two.
Elizabeth Corona.
Thank you, Elizabeth Corona, for my coffee today.
You what? Wait, sorry.
You're about to make my day, because it's been a rough one, and I'm going to talk about that.
Well, before we get into that real quick, when I ordered the coffee, she was like, you wanted a grande, right? I was like, no, she wants it in a tall. But that's only one shot. She asked for 2 shots, and I was like, yeah. So that's a grande. I was like, no, she wants it in a tall. She's like, okay.
I know. But you know why? It's because they do less pumps in...
Less pumps of the syrup?
Sugary stuff. Yeah. And so I hate having to say, can you just do 1 pump of this? It's better if I just get the tall and tell them an extra shot of espresso, and we're done.
Okay. I thought you just wanted, which makes sense. It would be a stronger drink too in a smaller container.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, okay, I just didn't want all the sugar in it. I like the taste of the peppermint mocha. The way it really tastes, it's delicious.
No, it's amazing. I tried it for the first time. I mean, it wasn't even one of those. It was one of those cocoa bombs you had.
Okay, I told you.
But it tastes...
actually, the cocoa bombs are better.
Really? Interesting.
Better than and let me tell you why. I think it's because it's my personal coffee from home, and it's probably stronger than what they have at the Starbucks, I'm assuming. I don't know. And I don't need to put 4 shots for it to be great. It's like that cup of coffee. That coffee is really good. And it's several shots in that little Bialetti. You got to remember, because we do several scoops to fill it up. You have to fill it up.
Oh, yeah. Chingo, when he made me one, he was like, that's 4 shots, by the way. I think it's slow. I was like, oh, geez.
Yeah. So it's not like, so that's the reason why I'm saying, like, I liked that I ordered. So guys, what we're talking about is I ordered those chocolate bombs from Don's sister, who had them for sale during Thanksgiving. And then they're peppermint with a shot of she was just making it with espresso. Mm-hmm. So I said, could she make me a peppermint one with espresso in it? And so Don said, yeah, she said she can do that. I was like, yes. So now I have Pete make the coffee, right? Mm-hmm. We drop the bomb in there. So I have a peppermint mocha technically. Plus that has another shot.
Genius. Damn.
So it's like 3 shots. Trust me.
We drink a lot of coffee, man.
I know, we really do. To where then I wonder why I don't have enough milk for my child. You know?
I thought you were gonna say, I wonder why my heart's palpitating.
No. Well, yeah, that might be another reason too. No, that's another story. Just real quick, guys. New merch is out. Don't forget. A lot of you guys forget the promo code, and I'm not gonna say it on here just because patronas get their personal code, but I do have a code that it's thanks 15, and it's for everyone to use anytime you purchase something. I usually send a little card in there, and it's for you to use it the next time around. So we have new merch out. Go on there. If you're in Houston, I know our weather's been kind of weird because I was so excited that they dropped when the weather had just gotten cold outside. So I was able to wear my units just legit, Rob, those first 2 days. And then it was like, well, there goes that hoodie. I can't wear that one.
I'm looking now. It's coming, dude. The cold front is coming. So I think tomorrow it's going to be a high of like 63, and then we're going to start getting into some cooler weather. But it's like supposed to rain this afternoon.
I know. I need to hide those electronic cars.
Oh yeah,
it annoys the crap out of me. So I'm going to ask my husband.
There's no more space, man.
Trust me, I know. We've been talking about this. I know. Guys, it's really hard for me to get out of the city as much. And this is actually the topic I want to talk to you guys about is crime. Because my husband's cousin, if you guys live in Houston, you probably saw this on the news, was driving right here on 45 in like North Main area, super busy area, 6:30 in the evening. It seems like it's a road rage situation. They don't know yet. They're still kind of investigating. It was ex-military, just graduated from, I think, UTMB or something like that, and was shot. And had it not been for some people that were curious, stopped to see why this car was on the side of the road with his blinker lights on, they found him dead already, leaned over. So I guess whoever drove by shot him. He managed to be able to still put his emergency lights on and get to the shoulder, which I think is crazy that you're still able to do that while being shot. I don't know.
Super unfortunate.
Yeah. Super young. I think he's only 26. We record this on Monday, guys. So when you guys get this, it's a Wednesday, but today is the funeral. They've asked for you to go dress like in Astros gear because it was his favorite. I love that they did that because there's one thing I've never understood about funerals, and it's like, why do you play sad music when the situation's already kind of sad? So I've told Pete, like, whenever I die, can you just make sure there's like no sad music?
You want a Zumba party going on or what?
Like, I just want, like it's a celebration of my life. As sad as it is, it's a celebration of your life. You're going home, and I'm going home to God because I'm right with the Lord. At least I think I am.
That's what you tell yourself.
That's what I tell myself. And so, I just feel like it's happening so much. And like just people just road rage. It's crazy. You can't honk at anybody because everybody's on edge right now. I mean, I told you guys a story about the chef that we know, which by the way, they're awesome people, him and his wife. And so they're having if you're in Houston, go check them out. They're actually having their legit grand opening of they were only soft opened whenever the shooting happened, and now they had to delay that whole time as he recovered from his shoulder from where he was shot and so forth. And so they're having their grand opening on the 11th on Saturday. So I'll find the
and this is for the food truck, right?
For the food truck, yeah.
He doesn't have a brick and mortar, right? Just putting you on the spot. You're like, maybe
it might be a brick and mortar. You know that?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Okay, hold on a second, because it's I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but the address is I think it's a new one because they have another one that's called Aurelian, I don't know how to pronounce it, Aurelian, Aurelian.
Okay.
Culinary Company, right? And I think that was what they were opened under, and now they're opening Tres Carnales. And so if you want to go check out, if you're a foodie and you want to go check something out and try new food, he's great. It's from 1 to 10, and the name of the truck is called Tres Carnales. The address is 32127 Texas 249. Pinehurst, Texas 77362. So if you want to go check out, and he's all about fresh food, by the way. He's kind of one of those like farm to table type people. So yeah, so I'm really like I am excited. I want to go check it out. Hopefully I have a chance to go because I really want to try to put it out there for him. But yes, so anyway, that happened to him, right? Where he was shot because he was just going to make a quick run to get a few things that he needed for his truck. And then Chingo's cousin went to go get salsa, bro, because his fiance was cooking.
Damn.
Went to go get salsa and gets shot and dies. And then I'm talking to Luisa, and Luisa says, this is so random. I know, it's like, okay, but the guy that sells flowers at the corner by their house was run over. She said no one stopped to help, but everybody was there filming with their phones. And I just don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, living
in a really strange time.
Strange times. I've just gone on ahead and accepted it. I don't know when it'll really sink in 100%. Right. But that's why. So I was supposed to do a pop-up Sunday. Sunny's been she's had a cold. I took her to the doctor. Can't give her anything because she's 4 months old. Basically what I've been doing with the steaming shower and, what I'm saying, the humidifier, all of the above is the only thing you can do because she doesn't have a fever. She doesn't have diarrhea. She doesn't have any of the above. It's just a stuffy nose. So anyway, so I was supposed to do a pop-up on Sunday, right? And she was up all night. She can't sleep, blah, blah, blah. And so Pete and I were up at 6:30 because we were starting to get things ready, right? Because we were going to go, go do the pop-up. And then I just said, I think I'm going to ask her if she can credit me for the next one in January. I said, because one, she's not 100%. You're going to be with the girls all day. Penny's a handful. You're trying to take care of a little baby who's, kind of has a stuffy nose. She wants a lot of attention. She needs a lot of mommy care,
quality time.
Yeah. So I was just like, so I'm just going to ask her. Well, we were up. So I just said, why don't we just go to church? I said, let's go to church. I said, we haven't been going for the last 2 Sundays. We've watched it at home. And I know it's not about the church. I know it's about what's in your heart, that you and God's relationship. But I just felt like the good thing that was, like I said, my sister got good news. So it looks like we are pretty good with her being clear, with cancer not being there anymore. But she's going to have another checkup in January. So I thank God for that. If power of prayer isn't to power of prayer, I mean, that was just like a prayer answered for us. And then this happened to Pete's cousin. And then just like Luisa telling me about like that man, just doing a little selling flowers to try to feed his family. Motherfucker runs him over, and just lets him die there. It's just kind of like,
did he die?
Yes, he died.
Oh shit! I just thought, okay, I don't know. I just thought he got hit.
Yes, he died. No, he died, and that's why Luisa and them were like, they were just filming. No one was like, oh, we should probably call 911 now. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, and they only know because someone else told them. Like, it wasn't like they were there or anything like that. And then I told you, and then like the story about the chef, and then all the things I see on social media, like how people are just breaking into, businesses right now, and Pete showed me this other thing, and what was it in Minneapolis where
he looked like a drunk guy. He was walking around with like an AR and just breaking into cars.
Yes,
kinda
and then someone's in the car just filming. Why are you filming?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? That's the like, are you trying to make a video go viral, bro, while risking your life?
Shout out to that person though, because it kind of gave you even more insight into the high crime in the area.
I know, but then Pete told me there's another video, which I'm glad I don't want to see, about someone on the subway getting raped and no one's like helping the girl.
I didn't see that.
And so, you know, it's kind of like you don't want to get involved right now because you're scared for your own life. You don't know if this guy's got a gun, he's going to shoot you too while he's doing whatever it is he's doing. It's like, you know, back then you'd be willing. That's why I had to say something about being kind.
Right.
Because back then, if you saw someone on the side of the road, Rob, and this is probably even way before your time, it was safe to stop and help someone with their flat.
Right.
It was safe to stop to give somebody a jump. You know what I'm saying? And we were at Cane's one night, and someone asked Pete for a jump. He was like, "Nah, I don't have cables." But he was real like, "Nah, bro, we're not doing this, giving you a jump and you set me up." Like, I just felt like he was. And it was like this guy with his girlfriend in the car. I'm watching the girlfriend like, bitch, do not make a move. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to happen here? You know, but he sincerely just needed a jump.
Yeah.
And here we were like, man, I don't know. And Pete's like, I'm going to give him a jump. I don't know. Just kind of be alert. I'm like, no, I'm alert. And, you know, the girls are in the back. We have Mickey. And, you know, plus the two babies, you know. And so I'm just like watching and I'm looking and, you know, his car wouldn't start anyway with the jump. I don't know really what happened. So, or did it? I don't even remember. But I just remember like the whole time we were both paranoid. You can't even give somebody a jump now because you're like, you don't know.
Yo, for starters, everybody needs to carry around a jump, like a portable jumper.
You want to know something? My mom and my dad used to always tell me something. After I started getting like newer cars, I stopped because I used to always get like, I had like hand-me-downs from my parents in the past. You know what I'm saying? So they were paid off cars. My parents would get a new car. They'd give me their car. You know what I'm saying? So then when I purchased my first car by myself, it was a new car. So it was like, that's a new car. Why would I ever need jumpers? You know what I'm saying? Like jumper cables. Well, check this out. So
6 months later.
No, well, in my Honda, it's a newer vehicle also. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not 2021, but it's a 2014, you know? 15, one of those. It didn't matter. My mom she borrowed my Honda because her friends were in town and she drives a sports car. Don't nobody fit in that car but herself. You know what I'm saying?
She did it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of like she did it when we were little too. She's always driven sports cars. She never wanted to have a mom car. Trust. Anyway, so she asked if she could borrow the Honda because, you know, she needed space to be able to, you know, have her friends. I said, sure. Well, the Honda's battery stopped, like working, and I have no jumper cables in there. And so she's like, so I bought you some jumper cables because you don't have any. She goes, and I know you don't like for me to say anything to you, but you should really always have jumper cables in your car. It doesn't matter if your car is brand new. You just never know, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, and I also bought you this, like a air machine in case
a compressor.
Yeah, a mini one. It's in your Honda as well. I'm like,
thanks, Mom.
Why would you buy that, Mom? And she's just like, those are just things you should have. I'm like, yeah, when your car's older, but not when your car's newer, Mom. And she's like, no, even when your car's newer.
Meanwhile, yeah, like a couple years ago when we were here, the Honda, same thing though. Yeah. Remember the battery went out? I had to jump in with my car. I think Adrian was here and someone else was here and we had to get it, you know. So, and even jumper cables are great, but an actual starter pack, you know what I'm saying? Where you just, it has the things. And I bought one. Actually, I sent it to Chingo because he asked about it. Ironically, he was like, what is it? What model was it or whatever? I sent it to him. It's the size of an external hard drive and it can start like a 6-liter engine. Like it'll start basically anything. And it just plug it up and it's got USB ports so you can carry it with you if you need to charge your phones. It's a flashlight and it has the two things to charge your car.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got to have one in your car. So I bought one and I gave it to Don because I have a bigger one in my car. Like, you just got to have it.
Yeah, I guess you do. So, but, you know, isn't that crazy how just... and I sound like a broken record, guys. And I know if you're like listening to this podcast and you're like, I'm so over her and her paranoid anxiety episodes. But it's just like, I feel like every day there's just like something new. Like the whole like... in California, how you can just go barge in and just break in and shoplift however much you want to shoplift. And then, you know what I'm saying? And no one's going to do nothing to you.
Yeah, this kind of all started because you said you keep battling with leaving the city.
Yes. I love living in the city, guys. Like, I really like having access to everything. And I know everybody's like, well, yeah, you can have access to in the suburbs. I get it. But listen, they're going to move the homeless Section 8 into the suburbs. I read a whole article about it. It's going to start happening because guess what? Now in the city, it's becoming non-affordable for a lot of people. So where are you going to put them?
Well, what are they? I mean, I know what you're talking about because we've talked about it on RPT, but they're not affording anything now as it is. I mean,
I know, but they're going to put the Section 8 homes out there and they're going to put those. And so for those who are in the suburbs are now going to have to deal with that. Meanwhile, people in the city, they're trying to keep the city cool and trendy and, welcoming for, what do you call it? Tourists and so forth. So it's going to be nicer here. And here we go, move to the suburbs. And granted, guys, I've run out of space. I have. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I wish that Sunny had her own room so that she could kind of like chill in there and her bassinet not be in my room. Didn't even really matter if she did because I tried it with Penny, making her sleep in her room when she was a baby. It's annoying when they wake up because you have to walk all the way now to her room and then bring her all the way. You know what I'm saying? Not doing it. Bassinet's in my room right now. She chills there and it's over my bed, rolls over, breastfeed her, roll her right back, and we're done. You know what I'm saying? So nothing like easy life for me. But anyway, she does need a room eventually, right? I'd like for them to share a room for a little while, but I know, I get it. I've run out of space. I know that. I know we need a bigger house. In the city, a bigger house means like at least
here it's like $500,000.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I have to make my budget for 2022 as we're looking for a house. And sadly, that's what I have to make my budget if I want to stay here in the city. I know you're wondering like, well, damn, where do you live? I know I live in 3rd Ward. So it's gentrifying. So even a crack house will cost you $300,000.
Even just for an investment.
And don't think that I live in this mansion, like big ass house where she's like, oh, she's probably no, I live in a regular little old 3-bedroom house by choice, guys, because I really wanted to live in this area because I know this area is going to be popping and a lot of people will not be. It's going to become that again. See, a long time ago, you got to remember this area was non-affordable. Okay. Then crime came, drugs came, all the bad stuff came. And I only know this because my mom was telling me when they first got here, they lived in the Heights. And she said the Heights was like the hood. You didn't want to live there. And so she's like, but that's what was affordable at the time for them when they first came here from the US. And so she said it was the first little house.
From Mexico, you mean?
I'm sorry. Yes, from Mexico. They could have, oh my gosh. When they first got here to the US, that's where they kind of settled, right? And so they settled there also because it was close to church where my grandparents went. And so it was kind of in that area, right? TC Jester. Now, I mean, that little area is like lofts where I grew up going to church. It's crazy. But my mom said it was really bad. So they kept going west. That's how they ended up in Spring Branch. And they kept going to Katy. And then they kept going further out. You know what I'm saying? That's how that happened. And she says, and now if you go to the Heights, she's like, it's like $700,000 homes.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, if your grandmother would have kept the house probably that they first bought when they got here.
$1 million area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's like, your grandma could have been probably making a fortune off that little bitty house. She goes, it was a small house. It was like 3-bedroom. We're all living there. And so she was explaining that to me. And now that's kind of how this is. If you look at, I was looking at stuff from 3rd Ward, like in the 60s, in the 50s. And the reason why I was looking at it was because I think I genuinely had a question of, it wasn't like my neighbor here, guys, owns about all the houses on my street. except for like 4 of them. You know, he was very smart. He worked overseas. Every time he'd get paid, he'd buy another one. He bought another one. The one that he lives in was his dad's. So he bought his, he lived there or whatever. And I asked him, I said, why is it that on that side of the road, it's like crack houses, but on our side of the road, it's like regular, regular older homes. They're taken care of, but they're not falling down like those over there. So what happened? So that's what he explained to me. He said that on that side, the help used to live over there. So like nannies, people that cut the yard, so forth, lived over there. And then they would come on this side to work for the Jewish people that lived over here. And he said, if you notice a few of the houses down here, and he showed me one of his rentals, he's like, I no longer made that door accessible. He's like, but if you see, I just closed it. It's like the doors for the help would be on the side. They weren't even allowed to go through the front door. They'd get out through the side door.
This is when Marissa would start going off if she was sitting here about classes.
Yeah, exactly. So, so he was explaining all that to me. So I was just curious. So that's where I'm going. He's like, back then, this was like the Jewish weren't accepted in the River Oaks area. So the Jewish came and made their own hood in Third Ward. He's like, and that's why you'll see they were all about businesses. He's like, that's why you see so many duplexes, fourplexes. He's like, that's why you'll see some fourplexes that are businesses. He's like, because the Jewish started that here. They ran their businesses out of their homes, or they lived in one and rented out the other, units from their fourplex or, threeplex, whatever it was. And I said, I had no idea. He goes, and then it got really bad. He's like, to where crime went up, and he's like, and then they started kind of going out, and then they ended up going elsewhere. And then that's how this became kind of more of the hood, is from what he explained.
Do you think you'll enjoy this area, though, by the time that cycle is kind of, seen the other side?
I don't know. I
don't see it happening in the next decade.
I do.
I absolutely don't.
Because we've only been here 4 years, and all this has already been done. It's too much development in 4 years. It takes a lot longer for a place to be gentrified. There's way too many like lofts already in the area. The building that they just built across the street from Emancipation Park, that park was already built. Too much is happening, and it's only been 4 years that I've been living here. Now, maybe someone who's been here even longer would probably agree with you, but because I'm so new in the area and I've only been in this home, we just made 4 years in October.
And you've seen a lot of change?
Too much.
Yeah.
To where I feel it might be the next 5 years, which would make it 9, 10, 10 years. Yeah, that would probably make it around then. But I say in the next 5 because it's just coming down. So, the bad area towards the back, they've already started knocking down houses. So now there's lofts back there. Well, you see it. Yeah. Oh, well, no, because you don't come from that way.
No, but I've seen it.
Yeah. So back in that area, they're knocking down those little crack houses now, and investors are coming in and starting to build the lofts. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't think it's going to take.
But when you're 50 and the girls are, let's say, 10, are you still going to want this lifestyle?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like right now, with so much happening, I want to be away from anybody. After that happened, seclusion. After like what, happened to Pete's cousin, it's scary. You can't even go to a damn taqueria to get a salsa. And, someone gets pissed because you cut them off or you honk at them. I don't know. Going back to that, so I decided to go to church, right, on Sunday, because I was like, well, I'm not going to go, let's go to church. Just too much has been happening, good things and just kind of bad things.
You needed to cleanse yourself.
I just needed and I had already told Pete, I was like, I don't want to miss a Sunday of church. Like, it needs to be part of our routine. Like, I want it to be part of our routine. It has nothing to do with like holy moly or anything like that. Penny went to Sunday school class for the first time. I took her on Sunday. And it was adorable, because if there's one thing I loved about church, maybe not so much when I got older, right? But when I was little, I couldn't wait to go to Sunday school. I also had the best Sunday school teacher. She was so much fun. You know what I'm saying? And so,
was it English or Spanish?
Spanish.
Oh.
Well, for her?
No, for you.
For me. No. My church was Spanish.
And hers?
English. We tried the Spanish service on Sunday, because where her little class is, I didn't know that's how further my friends husband is the pastor of the Spanish church. They're at Second Baptist. They're just in the sanctuary. And so I said, hey, Pete was getting us coffee because they have the best coffee inside our church. No joke, bro. And so I said, he was getting us coffee while I took her to her class. And I said, hey, you want to try the Spanish one today? I was like, let's go check it out. Well, it just reminded me of me being back growing up. Like they allowed the kids to go up on stage to sing Merry Christmas. They had a mariachi guest. It just happened to be, they're doing like Christmas events at church almost every Sunday, right? So they had a mariachi there, folklorico. They had a guy playing what is the big thing? It's like a xylophone, but the big, I guess it is, but it's there for like in other countries they play it. Oh, I don't know the name of it, but it's like the big old xylophone. Anyway, so it was really cool. They were giving away like free coffee for the Spanish, and it just reminded me because after church for us, they would sell food plates to help fund money for the church. Mm-hmm. Here they're not funding money; they're just they're giving it out for free because obviously I think Second Baptist does well, but it was just like, it just brought back so many memories and it was great. But because the pastor's my friend's husband, he saw us and he was like, hey, I was so glad you guys came. Great service. He did a great job. And he was saying something about randomly. Pete didn't say nothing about his cousin. He said, yeah, he's like, crazy times. He's like, I won't even honk my horn at anybody anymore. He's like, shh. And Pete's like, funny you say that. He's like, because my cousin just, they think it's road rage that was a road rage situation. But it was crazy to hear him randomly just say it, because people are so on edge. I mean, I told you at the very beginning of the pandemic, if you listen to any of my episodes, how I said that the guys that own the gym down the street told me, whatever you do, don't honk your horn at anybody right now. Don't get mad if anybody cuts you off. Just let it happen because people are on edge. They don't have a job. They don't know where to go. It's just really weird times. And it's still happening.
Yeah, people are fucking nuts. All right, like people are nuts. They don't know what to do. Like you said, they don't have a lot of these people just don't have anybody to talk to either. I don't want to give them any kind of benefit of the doubt, but people are so lost right now. They're just so lost.
And what I was telling you about how the homeless and stuff. Marissa told me to watch this movie called Lead Them Home. It's on Netflix about the homelessness in LA, right?
The homelessness
in LA. And it was so sad to see the situations. Everybody's situation is different.
Did they say how many people they had, like homeless wise? Did they try to give a count? Because I've heard crazy numbers, like 15, 20,000 homeless.
There isn't, but here's where I'm going to say something, because how I think I said this last episode, that a couple episodes where I said, if you want to see change, you have to get involved and just stop complaining then if you want to see change. Well, in the little meetings that they showed, right, that they're having where they're discussing about the homeless and how they're going to fix it and so forth, it's like I saw one black person in the meeting. Mm-hmm. Everyone else was white. No Hispanics, no Asians, no nothing, and it just makes you wonder, like, where are the minorities in these meetings? Why does it matter? You say, what does it matter who's running these meetings? They're having them. I know. But I think that when we can kind of try to understand other people, and you have a mix of backgrounds, I think there's more diverse, and then you can create better change versus some people just want to fix, right? And let's think about what's causing all this. There was a lady And I told Pete, I said, I have to make this my mission. I don't know how or when it's going to happen, right? But this goes back to Marissa's. One day she had this thing that I need to have a Oprah network, but it's going to be called HERR Network. That's what Marissa. So I said, Marissa, put it in the universe
So
for
I
me.
felt like you and I have talked about that like 5 years ago.
I know, but listen, the lady story, I was watching it again because Pete's knocked out on the couch while I'm sitting there breastfeeding and my child is stuffy. And I'm just like, well, I guess I'm not going to sleep anytime soon.
I feel like that was a jab at your husband, but okay.
And I've already told him, I said, please figure out which child you want to figure out and help me with that child.
Figure out which child you want to figure out.
Yes. So is it going to be Penny that you take over at night, or is it going to be Sunny that you take over at night? Because that's how we're going to get back on a schedule.
Okay.
We've been doing it for a couple of nights. We were able to hang out last night until Penny decided to wake up. I mean, Sunny, and then it was...
All right, don't lose your train of thought.
But anyway, I was watching her and she said that it broke my heart. I low-key shed a couple of tears watching her. She, it was an abusive relationship, right? And for us that have never been in probably that, you're like, well, didn't nobody tell her to stay in that, right? That's going to be a lot of people's thoughts. Mm-hmm. But she was beat up by her husband, pistol whooped, and raped. And the result of that was she's pregnant. And so she didn't want to be in that situation. So she left, and she's in a shelter, right? The shelter gives them food, I guess, at night, for them to eat or whatever. But she didn't want her kids to ever feel like they weren't family anymore. So she goes and spends the few little dollars that she makes and cooks them a meal every night so that they can feel like, we're still a family together. And it's just Mama Bear right there, big time. Mama Bear galore. It's like mom's going to make things not ever feel weird to you. And then she said that, so she got help to stay in a hotel, but because she was able to make some money, like she got a job to be able to get her little family off their feet, she didn't qualify for any of the other services, Rob. How fucked up is that?
Damn. And
there's so many people out there cheating. That's the kind of shit that irks me. You know what I'm saying? And so she said that she was having a hard time getting approved. So she would have to wake up because I guess the shelter doesn't have showers or something. So she'd wake up. They'd go to Safeway, a grocery store. She'd go to the restroom and bathe her kids in the restroom. Then they'd go to the library until it opened at 9 a.m. They have to be out of that shelter by 6. Whether you have somewhere to go or not, that's your business. And, she goes, bathes them, gives them something to eat. They need somewhere warm to stay. So they go to the library as soon as it opens because she says that was the only way she could keep their minds off of like missing anything. They get to play games. They get to use the computer. They get to read, and they're inside of a warm place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just broke my heart to see that. And I told Peter, I was like, okay, we talk about like, let's make America great again, right? And let's bring things back here. I was like, if I can figure out how to make like a factory where the women would make my apparel, right? Check this out. Then I could help women who are in shelters, right? Offer them a job so that they can get back on their feet and help their families. And then we help them like with then I can like connect with some kind of housing organization. But I want rules. Like you are going to get drug tested. Like you're not going to not get drug tested. You know what I'm saying? I need like monthly checkups at your house. Like I need for us to see how you're doing. I need for you to see someone to help you budget. Like you learn how to finance your money. Like all those services. I don't know how we're going to figure that out.
I feel like you need to partner up with Dr. Drew. I love Dr. Drew. He has a lot because he's an addiction specialist too, and he has a bunch of podcasts and a bunch of shows. But I actually was looking at his website. I kind of want to mirror some of the stuff he's done on drdrewlive.net or whatever it is, drdrewlive.com, and do it for Chingo as well. Just because he puts out so much content. I know Chingo's also ramping up podcasts and other videos and sketches. But anyway, I say all that to say this. That's a lot to undertake, right? But it's not like it can't be done. There's been companies on Shark Tank. I don't know if you watch Shark Tank a lot.
Sometimes.
But back in the day, there was like a sock company, and there was, I think, like a tie company, and they were all either veterans or homeless that they would train, and they would put them in these positions to like better their situation. And it was just like, wow, it's a lot of work, but it's a process that if you find fulfilling, why wouldn't you give it a go, I guess. And to go back to another subject, we're talking just before this, the local politics and stuff. Did you ever go to a school board meeting or anything?
I went to this. No, I did they had a Facebook Live.
Okay.
That's how I watched it.
Okay. There was that's the most important thing. We've been talking about that, right?
Totally,
Your
yeah.
local politics, you know, your local commissioners and judges and all this stuff. I was listening to the gubernatorial candidate for Arizona in 2022. She was on Tim Pool's podcast, and she was talking about how, I don't know if it was Maricopa County, but one of the counties where there's a lot of this election auditing going on. The president or chairman or whatever of the school board in one of these huge counties is a 27-year-old male who still lives with his parents and doesn't have any children, who is in charge of that school board. Why? Because he ran unopposed, and now he's making a decision. That he was the guy that was making the dossier of the parents. He was compiling the list, and he pulled divorce decree records, and he was taking pictures.
I was asking Pete, how was he able to get any of that?
He had to have gone out of his...
Who was he working with?
I mean, you can go get those things yourself. A lot of that stuff is public information, but to compile it and then make a list of parents, then you start getting into really murky waters. That's dangerous, kind of whatever you want to call it. He had private investigators following some of these families as well. So it's shit like that. Like, if
Whose money was he using for that?
Exactly, right? I don't know. I have no idea.
See what I mean? Tax money.
You got to get involved if you want to make a change. And, you know, from where we are, whether it's Fort Bend County, Harris County, or whatever, you got to dissect the stuff that's going on around you and decide how much is it affecting you and how much does it have the potential to affect you if you don't get involved. And then go from there.
So I kind of want to come up with, I want to talk to a financial advisor of like, how much merchandise would I need to sell a month to be able to help out if a few ladies in shelters financially first, like, right? Because I'm obviously can't go open up a factory yet, and I can't do any of that, right? That's going to come with really pushing my merchandise even more, really promoting, you know, this women empowerment, our entrepreneur boxes, like as more women, you know, we empower more women can be involved, and we can just start all working together, obviously, right? So I want to talk to someone who like does nonprofits and just ask, like, I really want it to be, and I'm sure it's going to have to be something where it's going to fall under nonprofit, but I would really like it to where nobody that's on the board is the secretary of, like, the financial secretary. I want it to be like legit a CPA or someone else, because ain't nobody going to be touching this money that we're getting funded from or that's coming in. And, you know, one bitch is richer than the other. You know what I'm saying? And we don't understand why something's not functioning right for this HERR factory or whatever it is. And she's the only one winning and driving nice cars, but meanwhile, like all of us over here that are, you know, I would be part of the board, obviously, and I wouldn't allow it. But I'm saying, you know how sometimes it just happens, and you just kind of wonder, like, how did that happen? You get all this money donated, or you go fundraise all this money, but it didn't help for anything. But you driving that nice little G-Wagon.
Well, because it goes into running the business,
exactly.
right? Or running the office.
So that's why, like, I feel it's important. It's like, obviously you have to, it's a business at the end of the day. Let's just call it what it is. It is a business. It has to run. You have to pay people who are going to be like the person that sits there and does the intake for whoever's going to need the services. And can we provide, right? I know how that works because I kind of did it in the past, right? But I don't now, and I want to find a way where everybody wins, where you're going to be happy to come to work because we are all motivated by what? Money. Yeah.
Community and money.
Let's just be real.
I have the perfect resource, actually, when it comes to nonprofits.
Yeah?
I do, yeah. An old friend, a good friend. I still talk to him. We get coffee from time to time. His wife's like on the board or whatever of the cancer center here in Houston, and he works in oil and gas, but I've known him for a while, and he did a lot in the nonprofit sector and is very, like, knowledgeable of that. Yeah,
I want to do that. I don't know how I can start it, but I feel like I would like for it to be out of my pocket first. Here's why. Because I feel like if it comes out of my pocket, out of something that I'm running, I could understand how it would really run and how we could help everybody win. Because I want for the women who are running it to be empowered. I do want them to drive G-Wagons, but not because you're fucking embezzling money or, you know, you're doing it shit the wrong way, but because we're all working together. Man, I'm telling y'all, we all work together, guys. They finna be hella mad at us.
It's a tale as old as
They
time,
finna be
right?
hella mad at us.
If we could all just come together
right now.
But people are fucking greedy. People are real. I mean, they're conniving.
And that's the bitch that's finna get fired from my organization.
This imaginary person that doesn't exist is about to get fired.
Right?
Yeah.
She don't even exist. The company ain't even started yet, and I'm already like, yep, the bitch is fired.
What is it? It's a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like if we could all just kind of do more. And you know what? I think I talked about this last time. I said, what is the solution for homelessness? Because I've talked to Pete. I was like, what do you think is the solution? Because on there they talked about like, and their funny thing is on that documentary I'm telling you about, they talked about putting these centers inside the suburbs. Mm-hmm. So when I used to have my agency where I'd help people find work, and hard of hearing people find work, a lot of them lived in these communities where they were assisted home living, right? But they were nice luxury apartments. Their theory behind it was that if you live, it's almost like you feel how you dress. Mm-hmm. So if you lived well, then it would make you want to do more, have more, mm-hmm. right? But I mean, they're only paying $100. This one client I had, let me backtrack. She was only paying $125 a month for rent, right? She'd get food stamps. So, she really didn't pay, there's no need for groceries. You pay the minimum because you get assistance for electricity, internet and cable. Like you get discounts for that. So maybe in total, right? Her bills were maybe about $300 and something, $400. Let's just put it on the high end. And she was making like $5 something a week. All right. So with that first paycheck of the month, right? You could probably pay all your bills, right? Mm-hmm. You're probably going to be broke for that first week, right? Until you get paid again next Friday. You probably just have enough money for gas, maybe, and you already have food because you're on food stamps, right? Why aren't you saving the rest of your money from? Because you make what do you make a month? 5 times, what is that? Like $2,000 a month. So if you're making $2,000, your bills are only $400. What are you doing with the rest of your money?
It's financial literacy, man. A lot of people don't have financial literacy.
And that's why I said, if I did this, you would legit have to take like budgeting classes.
Yeah, now you're talking about opening a private school for people. No,
well, these are grown women who probably have been in situations, because I would like to help the women's shelter. Now, I know if you're saying, what about men? I know.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But, if Mama Bear is good, then Mama Bear can be a good influence on whoever she finds next, I hope. Because a lot of it for the women who put up with abuse, physical abuse, is a mental thing. Like something happened. Again, it goes back to trauma. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to need the psychiatric help. They're going to need the therapist. They're going to need whatever it is that they're going to need. I don't know. I'm just assuming here, right? But whatever it is, I feel like we have to be, this organization has to have those services, because you're going to fail if you're missing one. It's like kids in foster care. After they're 18, they save their money from the jobs they get. And then when they're 18, they give them a check and said, here you go. Well, I've been bouncing from house to house for the last couple of years. I don't even know how to go rent an apartment. So those kids end up homeless.
So do we need like a HERR rehab?
Man, I don't know what we need, but we need a HERR something. And I just feel like all my listeners are great people where we can all come together and do something.
I feel like you're right. It's a great time to mention patreon.com/HERR Lounge podcast. Join the community. Join the Discord. Well, no, we don't have a Discord. You have a Facebook group.
We have a Facebook group, which nobody is barely active on.
They're active.
I think it's just me, Marissa, Dawn, and Asinette.
That's fantastic. All the ladies need to start.
Anna's actually active on there too. Anna Lopez is also active on there too.
Get everybody involved in there,
I know there's only 23 people in there, and it's because it's mostly the people from the Patreon, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should open it to like more people, like if they DM us on the HERR Lounge podcast, you know, account, then we can send them the link so that everybody who listens can kind of join, right? So
we could, you know what, this, and we've been talking about this for the last two Mondays now, but we do need to revamp your website. Maybe that's one of the things that we do is like join the Facebook group, but they go through it from your website.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean?
We do need to revamp it. There's a lot of things. I'm excited.
Are we having a creative meeting this week?
Yes, we are. It's
like
on the
today or Wednesday.
I can't today because we're going to the funeral after we're done.
What time is it?
It's at 5, but we have to go. Well, I'm sorry. It starts at 3, but we're going to go meet with his sisters and then, you know.
Gotcha.
But we're not going there till 5 because that's when they can make it. But anyway, yeah, this week I have a meeting with Ilse as well. And it was funny because she's like, can you shoot me an email? I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be the longest email I've ever sent her. Because it's like all across. I was talking to Pete about it. I was like, I want to do, I actually posted this in the Facebook group. I wanted to do a vision board meetup. Like where like I'm just gonna go to my mom's hair salon and go pick up all her old magazines that she has there because she gets them for free, you know, and let's have like a vision board, like make a vision board, like a meetup. What?
Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you.
What's funny? You're getting, that's a nervous laugh, Rob. What are you laughing at?
It just sounds like such a hippy dippy ass thing to do. Like we're going to make dream catchers and we're going to make dream boards and vision boards. I like the idea. It was just funny hearing you say it. I don't know.
Why?
Because you want to have a vision board party. Like this isn't you from like a while, not too long ago. Let me just say that.
Well, I just feel like if we can get more on track for 2022.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
a woman. Da, 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 da.
Rob, Don.
It's a woman.
If you're listening,
you know she is. It's a woman's party. Like that should be the theme song.
Yeah, I want for like women who have just kind of felt maybe for the last couple of years like, man, I'll get to it. Maybe next year.
We're all so guilty of that,
and then 2022 will be, I'm guilty of it.
Oh yeah, we all are.
I'm so guilty of it. And because we sometimes put something else before whatever we want to do or the vision we really want to see or whatever it is, you know? So I just, I put it out there. A few people, just like 2 responded and said yes, that they'd be down. Again, like I said, the group is so small. I think, and not everybody that's in the group lives in Houston also. I think it's 3 people that live in Houston that's in the group.
Really?
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was way more. We're going to live stream
listeners.
This? Yeah.
Yes. Based on the insights that I saw, it's more Houston.
You're talking about just
Texas. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The group.
Yeah. The group is just like 3 from Houston.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'd like to have like a vision board, like party and just really just kind of come there like, and, I don't know. I almost kind of want it to be like a podcast where we're all talking. Like everybody's talking.
That sounds like chaos.
No, like I want to have a mic at the one end and at this end of the table. It's going to be a limit because wherever I get it, it's I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a big place. At the end, and I just kind of want to talk about like I want to kick it off and just be like, the reason this was done was because I feel like a lot of people had a shitty last year and a half, whether a lot of people lost their jobs, their husbands were on and off of work, like especially if they were in the oil field, you know what I'm saying? Those jobs are kind of weird. If you were in the if you were forced to get the jab and you didn't want to do it, you had to, you gave up your job. Or if you ended up getting the jab and didn't want to get the jab, you know what I'm saying? Because you had to find ways to feed I think there's just a lot going on. And I think that even with everything going on, if you can stay focused and you can have other like-minded women who want to stay focused, we can kind of all hold ourselves accountable, even if we don't know each other. That's kind of the best part of it, to be honest with you, because no one can really judge you because they don't really technically know you.
But isn't that the easiest people to judge? Might as well people we don't know.
Nah, for me, it's people that I know. I'd be like, man, bitch, I know what's up with you. When I don't know you, I just know the one story you told me.
Yeah.
So I can only go based on that one situation you're told me about. You know what I'm saying? I think we're more judgy towards people that we do know, to be honest with you.
You're probably right. Yeah.
But I feel like if you have like-minded women, we all kind of come together, even if it's like, even if it's like someone trying to start their business and it's like, I'm interested in this, like, it could be like, well, you could, because if you have so many people giving you like ideas, I mean, I think it's kind of pretty damn cool.
We should have a panel. It should be like a vision board panel. Like if you want multiple people to participate, like we could have a panel. And I know I think it's the starting of a really good idea. I don't know. Did you just have this in the shower thinking?
Yeah.
Or, okay. All right. It's a good place for ideas in the shower.
Yeah. It's always at work. It's my only time I have by myself. When no one, I can think my own little thoughts.
True. But maybe having some of the people that that are, you would consider successful that could chime in, like whether it's Kim or Marissa or whoever else.
Yeah. All the women. And it's really cool. I was thinking about the women that I do know, and even though, right, it's a very handful. They're all
moms.
They're all independent, like self-employed women.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool that my current circle is a bunch of self-employed women, whether they still kept their main job, but they have a side hustle. And it's like, I can't emphasize enough like how the mom wife hustler thing to me is such a
It's a cornerstone.
It's like there's a lot of you guys. You don't have to fit all three. I don't think people. I think people think because they see the word wife and they're not a wife, it's like they feel like, well, I'm not really a part of that. But
Right.
you're probably still a mom and you're probably still a hustler. Like, don't let that one word throw you off. And I feel like that's the kind of circle of women I want around me. You know what I'm saying? Like women who are independent and they're hustlers. That doesn't mean you have to be a mom, and it also doesn't mean you have to be a wife. But you're a woman who's a hustler, who's after her shit, and you know what I'm saying, is focused for, on whatever she's gonna do. Even if you do work for corporate America, you can move up the ladder. Like my sister's somebody that's like that, who is interested in moving up the ladder, making more money within a corporate America, because to her, she likes to be,
if you like it and you're good at your job, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. You don't have to be like this self-employed person. It's a lot more work anyway, guys. So if you're doing well at your job, stay there.
Kudos.
My recommendation is stay there.
Off the microphone, Marisol and I fantasize that we could be 9-to-5 thinkers.
Exactly.
But we can't. So we struggle through life.
So shit, you got insurance? Boo-boo, stay there. What? You got a 401k? Stay there. You don't have to have an IRA account. Stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
I talked to your aunt, by the way. She's very sweet.
Yeah? Oh, that's good. Yeah.
She's cool.
She is. She's funny. She's, her daughter the other day said, I don't know, I feel like as the older you've gotten, you look more like my mom. It's like, word? I think it's just our eyes. My aunt has the same Asian, like, almond eyes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Her daughter looks black and Asian. She does not look like she's like mixed with Mexican and black. Yeah, she looks like she's mixed with black and Asian. Legit. Yeah, she's so pretty though. She's a little heartbreaker.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's tall as hell.
How old is she?
I think she just turned 15.
Oof.
So,
Gotta keep an eye on him.
But my uncle is like 6'3", 2, something like that. So she's already like almost 6 feet tall. Her brother's like 6'1", like
she's 6 feet tall,
almost.
Oh my god!
So she might be like 5'11", 5'12". I mean, pretty much 6 feet tall,
Yeah.
And she's 15, so she's tall. She's so pretty. Or at least I think so. Maybe I'm just being biased because she's my cousin. I don't know, but yeah. So I think that all this like this violence happening and all this just shit. Just like every time you look at social media, guys, and maybe it's because of the accounts that I follow, it's like something new is happening. I'm just like,
you are more plugged in when it comes to like current worldly events, and that might be why it's also kind of triggering these like, man, it's everywhere, which it is kind of everywhere. You can't ignore it, but being plugged in, you see it more often.
Yeah, I think so. Last night I sat there and did my planoli, right, for my business account, but had zero motivation to do my personal account, right? And here's the reason why. It's because it's going to take a day for me to have a content day. And I literally, Ilse, I don't think mentioned it on our podcast that day, but she has this like rule of like, are you going to inform? She has like these 3 rules.
I think she did say it.
She did say it.
On one of the 2 episodes.
On like what you're going to post.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want to start doing more of.
Yeah,
like,
that's a great concept.
Yeah. And so I want to really start like, okay, I've educated myself on, let's just go like financial literacy. Let's just say I discovered something new for you to try, right? I want to be able to post something about that. Like, here's what you do, you know? I really legit want to start doing Tip Tuesdays live on Instagram and YouTube, right? But I want to start having like topics some days, not all the time, right? Which can then be under the HERR Lounge podcast. So I kind of want for Tip Tuesday to be under the HERR Lounge podcast YouTube channel, even though I don't have a lot of following there yet. But I think that's how we can drive them over there to start, you know, getting them.
Right.
But I feel like if we have people on to talk about, you know, financial literacy, maybe like, I know right now, like keeping your money in the savings account isn't all that great from what P keeps telling me. So it's kind of like, okay, like I don't understand Bitcoin whatsoever, but maybe I can have someone that can come on here and explain that shit. And I'm probably still not going to understand it because I've had 2 people try to explain it to me, and I'm just like, so it's just money somewhere on my app?
Isn't that all money though?
What?
It's
I was like, no, I don't get it. Like, yeah, well, where do I go cash it out? Well, there's Bitcoin ATMs now. What? And so it's like, you know, it just, that's too much to handle. And if you're somebody like me, I think that someone talking about it could maybe be, it's a smart move to make because the way the world is kind of moving right now.
Yeah, well, when you're living in the Matrix, you're going to have to know this.
Yes, exactly. And I've already accepted that that's the direction we're going. So, yeah. I told Pete, I said, so let me find out you're in the metaverse with no children. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no wife. I said, you're single. I was like, and we were laughing about that.
Living his best life.
Yeah, I said, you're living your best life in the metaverse. And so, yeah. So, like, I know. I don't know. I just feel like if more women can come together, right? And because we breed the children, we're the ones that keep creating humans on this planet Earth. If we can get women, that's true too. Before they start really making men, I really want to know what hole is going to come out of a man, though.
Probably make a new hole.
The booty hole.
Just make a new hole.
Oh, Oof. Oh, C-sections only for men, probably.
Yes, of course.
That would be it.
Yeah, that would be it.
C-sections for men. Yeah.
Or make another hole.
Until then, women, we're the only ones that can.
Who runs the world?
Yeah, who can continue to make humans. And if we make good humans, then we can have a better world, or at least try to. And if it's an entourage of us who are trying to make that change, at least we're doing something to make the change, right?
I agree. So that long ass email you sent Ilse, I don't know if you were going to have a point to it, but I feel like that's something we could discuss with the patrons on the next episode.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So guys, what do you think, Rob? Should I let the Patreon folks vote on if we should let everybody who listens?
I think that's a good. Yeah, we'll make that post, in the group and in the Patreon, because what I had told my soul originally was letting people who are fans of the podcast into the group, but it didn't. And you had a good point. Your point was like, as you join the Patreon, you've committed, you've utilized your hard-earned dollars to join this group, pay for this content, pay for this exclusive extra content, help the podcast grow, all that jazz. So it's like it's a more tight-knit community, but it will be a slower growth, as people start to come in. So I don't know, it's up to you. Either way, like if you could get everybody that listens, it'd be thousands of people that'd be in the group, And
it'd be pretty cool to see what everybody's idea. As I was thinking about the vision board thing, I was thinking about like, what would be cool is listening, because I posted on there like, what do you do for the holidays? Because that Lead Them Home documentary that I watched, it made me think about people's Christmas this year. Last year, I think it was, Marissa and I helped out a family. We were able to get them a tree and I think a few gifts, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't find families this time. I reached out to the women's shelter, but I don't know if I should just go up there because no one responded to my email.
Dawn did something with the Girls and Boys Club.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what we did. Yeah.
So,
or she did.
So like, I think it's important. Like, gosh, I hate to say this, but I don't really care about adults. It's, you know what I'm saying? But I really like care about kids. Because
you mean during the holidays?
Just in general, like kids that are having to. that are having to struggle because of their parents.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's different reasons why we're struggling. Like I said, some people didn't want to struggle, but because of what happened during this pandemic, they became struggling parents. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But I just hate to see kids. I saw a meme today where it said it's a heart, 3 hearts. There's a male heart, a female heart, and the baby in the stroller is a heart. Oh. And it says, the mom says, we should go to therapy. The dad says, yeah, we should. And then the baby heart, right, the little kid in the stroller says, it looks like I'll be the first to go to therapy. You see what I'm saying? It's just like,
that's great.
It is like, and it's just like, that breaks my heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm not saying that I had the best parents. There's some fucked up shit they did. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know, but I mean, for the most part, I feel they did a damn good job. They did their best, right? And I had food. I never knew what it was like to not have my lights cut off. I don't know what that's like. Mm-hmm. How my parents did it, I don't care, right? And that wasn't my business to know because I was a kid, right? But there's kids who have to sit there in the dark because their parents aren't able to make ends meet, and now they're having to struggle with their parents. So I thank my parents for
sure.
I'm not talking about materialistic shit at all. I'm just talking about the bare minimum, which was a roof over my head. We had food, we had lights, and we had cable actually. Sometimes, depending on if my mom.
Depends the season. Is it a busy season, slow season?
My mom would say, like sometimes it'd be like, no, yes, well, I guess it'd go up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I cut it off. It went up. And then we'd have it again. And I'd be like, oh, es que tuvieron un especial. And I'd be like, I guess they used to call. I don't really know. But sometimes we had the cable box on top of our TV and sometimes we didn't. So, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of those things.
This is how we grew up.
It's just how we grew up. And so I thank them for that. I thank them that I didn't know what it was like to not be without. And I mean, literally, like, I was never hungry. I didn't have to depend on a school lunch to be able to, to be able to make sure I got fed that day. And there's many families that depend on that school lunch so their kids, that their kids are fed for breakfast and lunch, and they're only having to provide dinner, and it sucks. So if we can come together, ladies, and figure out how we can change the world, because it's up to mama bears and women in general. And I know y'all are like, why is it our job? It is, because we bring these damn humans into this world.
Yeah. Also find yourself a good partner. Stop being stupid with your partner choices.
Don't fix them. Don't try to fix them. If they ain't fixed already, you're not going to be able to fix them. And if you're that rare person that was able to fix your spouse, I'd love to have you on. Because I want to know.
Shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email at herrloungepodcast@gmail.com, because I really would like to know how you fixed this person and it still worked out without you feeling like, oh, he's such a burden on me. Just saying. Real talk.
Good message.
Yeah. So anyhow, all right. Should we let the Patreon folks vote, or should we just let them all join?
I think we'll discuss this on this next episode.
All right, we'll discuss it. And thank you guys for listening. Stay safe, guys. Don't honk at anybody. Let somebody cut you off. Oh well, it's crazy times. So talk to you guys Friday.